Hey, this is John from StubGroup, and today I am joined by William. William is our Director of Client Success and a very, very important team member here in making sure that we are delivering best-in-class service to our clients. And so I said, Will, hey, let's sit down and let's talk about 2024 and what's something that you are thinking about, preparing for, emphasizing, predicting, anything along those lines for 2024. And so that's why we're here. So, Will, the stage is all yours, and I'm excited to hear what you got.
Thanks, John. Yeah, so thinking through 2024 and everything that we want to accomplish this coming year, what I wanted to focus on in our conversation today was in the midst of all of the awesome new strategies and campaign types and asset types that we have available to us across marketing platforms, but specifically in this conversation, Google Ads. It can be easy to get distracted from the simple basics that really make an account sing and really can set you apart from your competition. So I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the importance of utilizing ad assets. Ad assets used to be called ad extensions. So thinking of things like call out extensions, structured snippets, site link extensions, and now more recently, image extensions. Google has studies that we can show that for each additional ad asset that you incorporate, there's a click-through rate lift of 10 to 15%. So I'm not talking about utilizing all of them. I'm talking about for each one, Google can shows an average of a 10% click-through rate. And so it's simple. It doesn't cost you anything additional, but it can really set you apart from your competition by adding those structured snippets, those call outs. More importantly, the image assets, because those are going to really set you apart. When someone searches for you on Google and seeing a listing that has an image, it's got some additional information that it fleshes out what you offer, whether that's a service or a product, and taking up more space on the search engine's response page can really set you apart. And again, it doesn't cost you anything other than that initial click. It's not something that you have to pay extra for to leverage. But if your competition are only utilizing headlines and descriptions and they're not taking advantage of those other asset types, it can really set you apart. And so as you're going through your account and setting things up, it can be easy to get distracted by things. You set up the minimum, perhaps just the headlines. You'll add 3 headlines, or maybe you get really excited about the 15 different options on a responsive search ad and you fill all those out and you fill out your descriptions. But then you see the options at the bottom of that to create those assets and you just skip through those. You're leaving money on the table. You're leaving potential clicks and conversions, leads, and on the table. And so that's something that doesn't take a lot of extra time. It does take time to think through and make sure those assets make sense for your business, which ones are going to be the most important, how you want to word those. But it's a great opportunity to take advantage of. And those are going to show on your search campaigns. It's also something you want to leverage with your Performance Max campaigns. And so that's something that can be easy to overlook, but it's really important. In addition to the different ad asset types that we want to be utilizing in search campaigns, Performance Max campaigns, like what we already mentioned, call extensions, site link extensions, those classic age-old opportunities there. More recently, you want to make sure that you have image assets. So those are going to be important for you to leverage in your search campaigns and also Performance Max. But they allow you to do a lot more. So don't just look for images that are your product specifically. So if you're an e-commerce business, just those products. You want to incorporate lifestyle images. So your product being used, or if you're a service, different people interacting, something that's more engaging. There's an opportunity to use those beyond just what you would typically think of as a product image or something along those lines. And that's available for you if you're a lead generation focused business. You're not selling a product per se, it's a service or something you want to focus on. And so even if it's just leveraging free stock images, that's something that you want to take advantage of, and there's opportunity to use those. And then it's not an extension per se, but kind of a part of that is the importance of leveraging video content. So video content is very important. Google shows that, especially with YouTube ads, but you can use videos in your Performance Max campaigns as well. A user is 2 times more likely to work with a business or purchase from a business that they've seen on a YouTube ad. So it's the numbers are there. There's case studies that show 10x 100% more when you start leveraging video. And so there's opportunities to do that directly within your Performance Max campaigns. But then another focus that I think is important is, like we talked about at the beginning of this video, with how ad extensions or ad assets can set you apart and increase your click-through rate. Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you get that higher click-through rate, but the cost is still really expensive. And so using video to climb up the funnel a little bit instead of focusing just exclusively on the low-hanging fruit, that those users that are actively searching for you, that are ready to purchase your product or work with you and your service. Sometimes because of where you're at or the nature of your industry, it can be really expensive. And so leveraging images, different creative video to target mid-funnel users or even upper funnel users, whether that's on YouTube campaigns, display campaigns, demand generation, or a host of other platforms that you could leverage, social media and the rest. You can typically see traffic at a much, much lower cost by targeting upper funnel people that maybe are in the consideration phase. They're not ready to pull the trigger right now, but you're able to cultivate them into a warmer audience that are going to be unique to you, that you can leverage at a much lower cost. So video can be scary because if you're like me, you don't consider yourself a videographer. There's a lot that goes into that, but you can leverage very inexpensive tools to create video content, and even free tools. Google Ads user interface has a way to create videos for free. They've got templates where you can plug in your images, you can add music, even a voiceover to those videos, and so it's a pretty low bar for accessibility. It's very easy to get into, just depending on what you're looking for. We've also seen great success in leveraging user-generated content, and there's different platforms that allow you to get a real live person to interact with your product or talk about your service. It's very inexpensive and it's very engaging, and we've seen a lot of success with that. So those are all things that we'd love the opportunity to work with you on, and show you how we can make that work. What do you think about that, John?
I think that's a really good call out, pun intended. No, I think that's a really good point to make because I think sometimes we digital marketers can suffer from shiny object syndrome. There's always something new coming out, and obviously we should be leveraging new things. We should be testing things, but if all of your focus on is on what's new, what's the latest and greatest, but you're not making sure the foundation and what has been proven to work over time, even if it's not glamorous necessarily, if you're not focusing on those things as well, then you're just not going to be doing as good of a job or be as competitive as your competitors. So, really important grounding message as we go into 2024. Make sure you got the basics right, and then build from there. So that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for spending some time with me today and sharing those thoughts. And if you are watching this video and you want to work with expert digital marketers like Will and the rest of our team, we'd love to chat. Reach out through StubGroup.com. Let's see what we can do to help you, and let's make 2024 a success. So until next time, John and Will signing off.